Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Saturday the 18th of January 2025. In today's Millwall news, it was match day. And it did not go well at all. We lost to Hull City. We lost 1-0. Now, a lot of people seem to be quite surprised and upset by this. And I actually called it in yesterday's video. In yesterday's video, in the preview videos, the day before a game generally, preview the game that's coming up the day after, and at the end of it, I give a little prediction. And for today's game, my prediction was that we were going to lose this game 1-0. Of course. Today, it was just absolutely horrific. We had nothing up front. We barely had a shot. I think Tanganga was our most attacking threat from set pieces. Other than that, we had nothing. We had players running, getting caught because they're too slow, not being able to pass the ball and send people through when they need to. Just general shit, really. I mean, so let's get into the match report from millfc.co.uk. So Mill beaten by Hull City. Mill were beaten 1-0 at home by Hull City in the Sky Bet Championship on Saturday afternoon. Jake Cooper's unfortunate own goal settled a low quality affair in SC16. Yeah, well, you've sold the quality. You sold him to Crystal Palace, so what's left is what's left. Callum Scanlon was handed the start at left wing back against the Tigers, whilst Jake Cooper made a first league start since November. Mihailo Ivanovic started an attack with places on the bench for new signings Aaron Connolly and Tristan Kramer, as well as Rahis Bangor Williams. This is another thing. So we play three at the back, three centre backs, and then we play Leonard as a wing back and Callum Scanlon as a wing back, left wing back, right wing back. So even though we've signed a new guy who's a left-footed centre back, we've got Murray Wallace, we've got Hutch, we've got Harding. You play Joe fucking Bryan as a left-sided centre back of a three. He can't even defend at left back. Why would you play him as a centre back? That makes no fucking sense at all. Like, what are we doing here? After the Memorial Day commemorations were completed, the game kicked off in SC16. Mill had the first effort of the afternoon, but Ivanovic's header from Joe Bryan's free kick was saved by Carl Rushworth. A deep set piece from Bryan then made its way to Jafet Tanganga on the back post, but he nodded wide. Lewis Cole had Hull's first attempt on goal in the 8th minute, but it was comfortable for Lucas Jensen. The Dane was called into action just a minute later, however, as Abu Kamara found himself free on the edge of the penalty area, but Jensen came out to smother well. Tanganga's goal-bound strike on 16 minutes was denied by a vital Hull block before Duncan Watmore went on two forward runs, losing the ball in his first drive before feeding George Honeyman on the second as the number 39 curled over the crossbar. A good opportunity presented itself to the Lions on the half-hour mark, but Rhineland skewed wide, with Casper not having the next effort, but also suffering the same fate as the half-time break neared. A free kick from Honeyman was nodded wide by Tanganga as the second half got underway, but in 58 minutes the visitors were to take the lead in fortunate circumstances as a cross from the Lions' left was deflected in off of Jay Cooper. So they went down our left-hand side. So, same old. Whenever teams play us, they know Joe Bryan is the weak link. He can't defend. Let's go down there. And that's what they were doing. And they ended up getting the goal. Now, I'm pretty sure, so we started with 3-5-2 or 3-5-2-1 or whatever the fuck it was, 3-4-2-1. In the second half, I think he changed it. He changed it back to the 4-2-3-1 or whatever it was. But to be honest, it wasn't until the substitutions were made, when we had some quality players coming on, who had a bit of pace about them, that we started to do things. But it's too little, too late. So So Neil responded by bringing Connolly off the bench for his Lions debut, Scanlon making way, but a failure to track the run of Hull's own substitute Joe Gelhardt led to Regan Slater lining up a shot only for him to drag it wide of the near post. The Millwall defence had to block as the Tigers looked to hit them on the break on 69 minutes, with Kamara's effort stopped. Corley Langstaff was then brought on for Watmore. Bangor Williams made his championship debut in place of Ivanovic, and Billy Mitchell replaced Honeyman as the Lions went more attacking for the final 15 minutes, but try as they might, they could not find the equaliser and slipped to a home loss. Yeah, even though we were more attacking, they were parking the bus, they had 10 men behind the ball, and we were more attacking, but you have to have something special to deal with that, and we didn't, so we couldn't. A crowd of 14,579, 1,629 away fans, and the crowd was not happy. There were plenty of boos, plenty of shit. So yeah, this was not very good at all. Not very good at all. So the team was Jensen, Tanganga, Cooper, Bryan. And you can see DFDF the midfield. So you can see how I think Watmore and Honeyman were supposed to be both were playing in the middle, which was so it would have been what 3. So it would have been 3-4-2-1. Yeah. So yeah, Jensen, Tanganga, Cooper, Bryan, Leonard, Denor, Saville, Scanlon, Watmore, Honeyman, Ivanovic, and the subs were McNamara, Murray Wallace, Hutchinson, Billy Mitchell, Connolly, number 9, he's got Tom Bradshaw's number now, Roberts, Langstaff, Bangor, Williams, and Crammer. Crammer's got 52. Apparently, there aren't any spare numbers of a reasonable size because nearly all of the under-21s have been registered as first-team players, so they got squad numbers going up to like 40s, and that's like players like Kamal Grant, players like Henry Hearn probably as well. Those type of players, they all have squad numbers, even though they're not here playing. So Crammer's got the number 52. But the subs that got on were Mitchell on for Saville in the 77th minute, Connolly on for Scanlon in the 62nd minute, immediately after they scored. Langstaff on for Watmore in the 71st minute, and Bangor Williams on for Ivanovic in the 76th minute. So, yeah. There you go. Now we've got some pictures from the game from millwallfc.co.uk. But yeah, I mean, when Bangor Williams came on, he looked a bit decent. But I mean, Watmore was rubbish again. Honeyman was worse. Bryan was atrocious, and here we go again. Same old, same old. What can you do? What can you do? Obviously, no creativity up front because the creativity now plays for Crystal Palace. His name's Romain Esses, and that was officially announced this morning at 9 o'clock. Here we go from millwallfc.co.uk. Romain Esses leaves Millwall. Millwall Football Club can confirm Romain Esses has completed a permanent transfer to Crystal Palace after the Premier League side triggered a release clause in his contract. The 19-year-old, whose contract was due to expire this summer before signing an extension in August, departs Millwall for an undisclosed fee, which is a club record sale. Well, how do we know that if it's undisclosed? How do we know? Supposed to take your word for it? Romain's journey for the Lions started when he was just 9 years old. The youngster progressed his way through the academy ranks before making his debut for the club as a 17-year-old on Boxing Day in 2022 in a 2-0 away win at Watford. Romain leaves Millwall having made 66 appearances for the club, scoring 7 times, as well as representing England at numerous youth levels along the way. The club would like to place on record its thanks to Romain for his efforts both on and off the pitch, along with his exemplary attitude and professionalism during his time at the club. And Millwall chairman James Berylson said, "I'm really proud of Romain's journey with us and what he's achieved at such a young age. In his time at the club, he's matured into a fine young man and has showcased for us what a talent he is on the football pitch. And I'm excited to see what the future holds for Romain, and I wish him well." Close at home, though, Romain's journey demonstrates a pathway and potential for young players coming through our academy and the amazing guidance they receive from our first team and academy staff. Financially, this is a major first step in executing our new vision and strategy outlined this summer. The sale secures a substantial financial benefit for the club, and we have ensured there are possibilities of further financial benefits based on Romain's progress in the future. Reinvestment to ensure we remain competitive and adding further quality to the team is of paramount importance, as well as ensuring we can improve the infrastructure of the club. Thank you to the fans for your support, and let's look forward to an exciting future together. That there is a selling fee believed to be 15%. So that'll be interesting in the future when we're in League 2. We suddenly get a large amount of money from out of nowhere, which what happened to us, was it last summer or the summer before, when Samuel Edozie went from Man City to, was it Leeds or Southampton? No, I think it was Southampton. Darko Giabi went to Leeds. When Samuel Edozie went from Man City to Southampton, we got a chunk of money out of that, which is decent, and it looks like we might be getting the same from Romain Esses in the future. So there you go, it's done, it's dusted. What can you do? It is what it is. It is what it is. It's finally done. Now we got this from londonnewsonline.co.uk. I think they've basically, obviously I haven't pre-read any of this. So they've got some they got that quote that I just read you from James Berylson, so I'm not going to really do that again. It says the Lions have indicated that Palace activated a release clause in Esse's deal, which has been signed at the start of the campaign. If the England under-20 international had not extended his Millwall terms, then he would have been out of contract this summer, meaning that any compensation package was reduced. It would have just been, it would have probably went to a tribunal. It would have been training compensation and stuff like that. Millwall have now had major exits in the two most recent transfer windows. Zion Flemming was loaned to Burnley at the end of the summer with an obligation to buy. Now Esse has signed for Palace on a 5.5-year contract. Although the fee or the terms of the deal have not been disclosed, it represents a club record sale for the Lions. And then he's got the... Now, it's interesting, obviously, you're talking about Romain Esses, you're talking about Zion Flemming. We signed Ivanovic. We signed Ivanovic for more money than we signed Flemming for. And Flemming was more ready to go in the Championship than Ivanovic is. And obviously he's a bit older. But I think we need to get another Flemming in. We need to get someone who's of that standard, who maybe they're not that young, but they're good enough to come in and start playing straight away. We can't be signing these kids who need time, because we ain't got time. We need someone special coming in now. Are we going to find them in the Eredivisie? Are we going to find them in Ligue 1? I don't know, but I mean, you got to find them somewhere, mate, because this is getting dangerous now, and we'll get into that in a minute. The lowdown from londonnewsonline.co.uk to South London Press on Millwall 0, Hull City 1. Lions urgently need transfer window reinforcements. Millwall suffered a 1-0 home defeat to Hull City this afternoon, with Jake Cooper's own goal proving the difference in an instantly forgettable Championship fixture. Here is the lowdown on the match, and they've got the lineups. Snapshot of the game. Millwall goalkeeper Lucas Jensen was called into action 10 minutes in, out quickly to block Abu Kamara's effort after he was sent through on goal. The Lions responded well to that, and in the 19th minute had their chance of their own. Duncan Walton broke through and the ball found its way to George Honeyman, but the former Hull captain curled his effort over the bar. The Tigers took the lead in the 58th minute. Regan Slater's fizzing cross bounced up and hit line skipper Jake Cooper before beating Jensen at the near post. That was the only moment of goal manufacturing in the game that lacked quality from either side. So that's all of the chances in the game. All of the chances. And when I came home, I went online, watched just the highlights from Sky Sports News. I think it's 1 minute 23 of highlights. Literally nothing there. Mill found it hard to create. The quality in the final third was non-existent. After the visitors took the lead, the South Londoners found it extremely hard to break down a resilient whole defence. Tactical approach. Lions head coach Alex Neil made 3 changes to the side that started the 2-2 draw at Sheffield Wednesday on January the 4th. Jake Cooper replaced Murray Wallace. Callum Scanlon came in for the injured Femi Aziz. And Duncan Watmore replaced Romain Esses, who has departed for Crystal Palace. At times it looked like the Lions boss had switched to a 5 at the back system during the opening 45 minutes. Esse's departure leaves a big hole for Millwall to fill in terms of creativity, and that was very evident. Watmore tried his best to help with a couple of first half breakaways, but he lacked that cutting edge in both of those instances. Mill, for the most part, largely untroubled, barring the early Kamara chance in the goal. The Lions have still only conceded 25 goals this season. The problem is not at the end of the pitch, but at the top end. Star man Rahis Bangor Williams, he looked like the bright spot for Millwall, managed to get the ball down and look dangerous during his 13-minute cameo. Indeed, yes. Best moment, Lucas Jensen's save from Kamara. Whisker raping the barrel here. It was the best moment for Millwall, I imagine, not of the game. Even their goal wasn't a shot on target. It was a cross that hit Cooper and went in. Moan of the match, the lack of flow and cutting edge. The loss of Esse is huge. The teenage created the most so-called big chance for Mill this season with 6. Neil will be hoping that Femi Aziz can step up and fill Esse's shoes. Aziz was also missing another big loss considering how much he has improved and contributed since he made the move from Reading. Both clubs have found scoring goals a struggle between them in the Championship this season. They played 53 games and scored just 50 goals. I think he's still in that hole there. Talking point down the pub, Esse's departure from the club was confirmed on Saturday morning with a 19-year-old signing a 5.5-year deal at Crystal Palace. It's a club record sale for the Lions, but the worry now is where the creativity comes from. The Lions have struggled so much this season in the final four, scoring just 24 goals in 26 games. A lot was put on the shoulder of Esse when he was here to provide the spark that got Millwall going. How does the club reinvest the money into playing squad and get that level of quality they need to help them push on up the table in the second half of the season? It looks like they will need to bring someone in. Neil said after the defeat to Oxford in his first game that the club did not have a natural number 10 and that Esse was the closest to it. Now he is gone. It's very clear that this is a must-fix area in the transfer window. The problem, that position is not a cheap one to fill. They need reinforcements and they need them now. Like I said, is there someone in the Eredivisie we can get? I mean, Fleming, for what he was, 1.7 million. I think it went up to 2.1 or whatever when we paid out the fee that they had tacked on the sell-on fee. We need someone like that. We don't need a 19-year-old. We don't need an 18-year-old. We need someone who's ready to go, who's been playing in a division, scoring goals and doing well. We need someone like that who's not expensive as hell. So we'll see if we can get them. If we get a Zion Fleming or a Bob Peters or a Barry Powell, we need a Zion Fleming, I'm afraid. What the boss had to say. The game got decided on a cross which hit one of our lads' heels and deflecting out the front post. From that perspective, it's really, really frustrating because if you get done with a bit of quality of the opposition performing better, they should comfortably win the game. Then you go, we need to be better. But it was a scrappy game decided by an unfortunate moment. Well, that's we're going to have some more post-match, and I think that's the quote here from southernnews.co.uk. It was a scrappy game. Millwall boss gives verdict on Lions 1-0 lost to Hull City. Alex Neil was frustrated to concede an unfortunate goal during Mill's 1-0 loss to Hull City at the Den earlier. Mill offered little going forward throughout the game, only recording one effort on target and finishing the game with an expected goals figure of 0.68 from 12 shots. Wow, that's horrendous. The Lions have now only scored 4 goals in their last 9 league games. Well, I thought it was a scrappy game. We set up differently for a couple of reasons. Obviously, watching Hull, I think the best way to try and play around Hull, because they press it out to in and they try and shut central areas off, is to try and play outside them. I thought we did what we did. We got the ball down via our wing backs. We look threatening. If you're going to play that way, you need an element of control, which means you need to make some passes because you need to take this thing out their press. But I don't think we did that. I thought we turned the ball back to front too often. It became a sort of transition game, and when that happens, they've naturally got the wingers in high positions, and they're playing off the side of your centre backs. But what it did mean was, when we picked up the ball up and we had more volume of attacks going forward, I thought we looked more threatening in the game, and I thought we had a couple of decent chances in the first half, and they had a couple of chances in the first half too. I just felt towards the end of the first half they looked more likely to score than we did, and that's why I sort of changed it at half time. To match it up and make it more conventional Millwall in terms of a man-for-man battle. But if I'm honest, what it means for us at the moment is you're going to play that way in general terms. You normally have a target that you play up to and you work around. Mihailo, he's not really a target man. He's more of a runner than he is a target, and that's his strength. But we're stretched at the top end of the pitch. I think anybody can see that. And we've just sold Romain for a load of money. We've got Femi, who's currently not available. We've got Callum Scanlon, who's literally, just trained for 1 week, and he's a left back, and I've got him playing left wing. It's not easy, but, ultimately the game got decided on a cross that hit one of the lads' heels and, deflected in the front post. And it ends up getting the winning goal. So from that perspective, it's really, really frustrating because if you get done with a bit of quality, you get done with them performing better and, creating numerous opportunities, and they can't comfortably win the game, and then you go, okay, we need to be better. But it was a scrappy game and decided on an unfortunate moment for us, in my opinion. So you've got Callum Scanlon, who's a left back, and you've got him playing left wing. Well, maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you should have played Bangor Williams because he looked very good when he came on. So, you're putting square pegs in round holes and then moaning when they're not fitting into the system. Why did you change formation? You bring in the new centre back who would have added an aerial threat. He's good on the ball. He's left-footed, but instead of playing him as the third centre-back, you have Joe Bryan there. Like, what the fuck was that about? Can you please, for the love of God, get rid of Joe Bryan? Please. Whether you play Scanlon there, whether you play Danny Mack there, personally I would prefer Danny Mack. He's a better defender. Just, please, can we just get rid of Joe Bryan? He's an absolute failure. He's not working. Whatever the plan was, not working. He was brought in. We switched to a four at the back, which nearly worked because we got up to that where we were. We nearly 45 minutes against Blackburn. We're nearly in the playoffs, and then Broward tells us, okay, in the summer recruit players for we need wing backs because we're gonna go to a 3-5-2. What are we doing here, man? And then he goes back to that. The results are shit, and he ends up walking away. And now we're stuck with Bryan. Does Joe Bryan want to go to Oxford? Gary Rout signed Tom Bradshaw. He's trying to sign Longman. Just ask get him Joe Bryan to go to Oxford. That's out west, where he's from. So, can we do that? We've got this also from southernnews.co.uk. Alex Neil on Romain Esses' departure. So that is certainly a challenge. Alex Neil on Romain Esses' departure. Millwall's sustainable transfer model and the Lions missing attackers. Alex Neil said Romain Esses' sale to Crystal Palace was a good start to Millwall's new sustainable transfer model. Esse 19 netted the Lions a club record fee of £14.5 million plus a significant sell-on fee. The deal was confirmed this morning ahead of Millwall's 1-0 loss to Hull City, where the Lions only recorded one shot on target and struggled to create clear-cut chances. Esse's absence was notable. Per Opta, He has created the most open play chances on the team, 26, and leads the Lions in open play expected assists, 3.18. Well, he's been the most creative outlet, hence why he's moved to the Premier League. Well, that's what we want to become as a club. Someone who can develop players and try and create assets in the team. I think our challenge, or certainly my challenge at the minute, is we're at the very start of that, and we are the embryonic stage of that, shall we say, which means trying to balance, creating assets, creating younger players' times, winning enough games and performing well. And when you're trying to juggle all those balls at the one time, particularly when you've got players missing who can make an impact at the top end, that's certainly a challenge. And the Lions were without a number of attacking players, including Josh Coburn, Femi Aziz and Edamu Amaku, who all missed the game for injury. We, in general, with those players, we talk about an average less than one goal a game. So goal scoring has been a big problem for us, irrespective of when we've had Rom, Josh and Femi, we still weren't scoring goals. And, that was the front three that probably would have started the first game of the season because it was deemed the strongest front three. Today we had none of them, so to try and score goals now is a challenge. My job is to try and come up with a way that gives us the best chance of doing that. Neil made it clear last Thursday that he wants to bring in at least one attacking player to replace Esse. The Lions made striker Aaron Connolly their first signing of the window, and the Irishman made his debut today. They also announced the signing of centre-back Tristan Crammer yesterday. When asked how many more players he expects Mill to sign this window, Neil said, it's difficult to see, I'm not going to put a number on it. The difficulty you've got, particularly in the January window, is that if you're going to try and get someone's key player like Crystal Palace have done with Romain, then you need to pay a hefty price for it. Or you pick up guys who've had a lack of football and that's got its own challenges, and in that you need to get them fit, and if they do break down by the time you get them fit, then you've probably got 2 months of the season to go. So there's a balancing act to be struck in terms of who we can find and who's going to be a difference maker for us. When asked if he had a message for the fans who may be worried about Mill or a selling club, Neil said, but when you say selling club, every club is a selling club. Even guys like Ronaldo left Man United to go to, Real Madrid. So it doesn't matter what club they're at. If the money's too good to turn down, and more importantly, the player will want to go and further his career. We don't want to be in the habit of stopping that. What we do want to do is we want to create more assets in the team, not purely to sell everybody. That isn't the limit. If we create enough assets that we're a really, really good side, challenge for promotion, then I know that, Jimmy will have a go. And in terms of what we can put in and try and help us up there. But when you've got Romain at this moment in time and you're getting offered the money we've been offered for him, certainly considering the circumstances we found ourselves in 6 months prior, when he wasn't really in the team and considering not staying, maybe looking elsewhere. I think that business by the club has been great business. But I do understand fans, they want to come and see the best players. And I do understand they want to come and see the team win. They aren't interested in what the profit is for the club. But fans at every club, do accept that when a deal is too good to refuse, it's going to happen. Irrespective of the fact that it doesn't make us as strong as we are prior to it. That's just where football is. What can I say to that? He's got a point. He has got a point. One thing I mentioned as well, he's got a point about assets. I think John Berylson said this as well. He wants the youth team. I think they set a target of 6. They want the first team, the 11. They want half of them to come from the youth team, which we haven't really got at the moment. We've got players in and around, but they're not playing. Billy Mitchell, Danny Mack, Bangor Williams. Who else is there? But that's, if they're in and around the squad, that saves us money of someone that we have to bring in from outside. So it's not just about bringing in and selling them on, but and I said this before, and he says as well about balancing, doing both. What are you aiming for? You've got a bow and arrow. You're aiming it. What are you aiming it for? You aiming it for the bullseye, which is to get promoted from this league, or are you aiming it at a special prize on the side? There's a little like a golden circle. If you hit that, you get a special prize. What are you aiming for? Because you got to pick one. You're trying to do both at the same time, you're not going to get it. Are you aiming for the bullseye, or are you aiming for something else? And if the bullseye is winning football games, if you don't aim for that, you're not going to get that. So if we're not going to win games, we're going to lose games, and we are facing relegation, as we'll see in a minute when we take a look at the table. So Alex Neil again, more post-match. We're stretched at the top end of the pitch. Mill gives verdict after the championship lost to Hull City. Alex Neil was talked about lacking attacking options after Mill's 1-0 reverse to Hull City today. The two lowest scoring clubs in the championship produced a game starved the major chances, with the outcome decided by Jay Cooper's own goal. Mill's only effort on target was a Mihailo Ivanovic header in the 3rd minute from Joe Bryan's free kick, but it was a comfortable stop for Carl Rushworth. Mill have collected 2 points from a possible 15 since their 1-0 home victory against Blackburn on December the 21st. And Neil said, "It was a scrappy game, we set up differently for a couple of reasons. Watching Hull, the best way to try and play around Hull, because they press from out to in and try to shut the central areas off, you need to play outside of them." We've already heard that, haven't we? We've heard that from the South London Press. Yeah, we've heard this. We've already said this. Yeah. So that's a repeat. Is this a repeat? This isn't a repeat, I think. He's talking about Callum Scanlon. I think he's just publicly stating why he took him off, because he doesn't want him to think he's played badly. He's just saying, we wanted to, don't push him too much. He's just come back. But then we'll probably find out in a day or two that he's injured again. But, how's your luck? Callum Scanlon was excellent, but brought him off because Mill can't afford any more injuries at the moment. Alex Neil praised Callum Scanlon's performance during Mill's 1-0 loss to Hull City at Den earlier today. The left-back's first appearance since late September. His first and only appearance. Scanlon, 19, joined the lines on loan from Liverpool at the end of the summer transfer window, but suffered a stress fracture in his back during his debut, a 1-0 defeat to Luton Town on September the 14th. Scanlon returned to South East London earlier this month after rehabbing his injury at his parent club, and made his full return against the Tigers, starting at left wing back as Neil opted to set Mill up in the back three, which for some reason included Joe Bryan, even though we have 3 dedicated centre backs that aren't even that he could have chose from. I thought he's excellent. He's athletic, he's technical, he can handle the ball. The game probably at the start, was a little bit quick for him in terms of getting his head up and, maybe feeding a couple down the side. But, there's loads and loads to work with. Callum is exactly the type of player that we want at the club. He's good. Once it reached 60 minutes, I literally can't afford any more injuries at the moment, so I need to try and protect him. Duncan, has not done a lot and only been on grass a little bit. Mac has only been on the grass for a day, so realistically, some of the lads I put out today I would have put on the pitch, but we're stretched at the moment, so we don't have many alternatives. So basically, you're seeing half-fit players play, and that's why it was so shit. Callum Scanlon, he was alright today, but he was half-fit. He wasn't match fit. Duncan, same. Macca, same. So, there you go. Now, moving on to this from the opposition manager. We could not ask for more. Hull boss Sellers delighted after a away day victory against Millwall. Hull City boss Ruben Sellers was delighted with his side's performance as they left Millwall with all 3 points on Saturday lunchtime. An own goal, yep, we know about that. Coming here and getting the 3 points is not as easy. The performance was good and the goal was good, said Sellers. We discuss every time we score, we then concede. We have conceded too many goals at this moment. The best way to manage those moments is to try and score the second goal, and we know how to do it. They are going to put pressure on us, and we have to play through it. It's now back-to-back away wins and clean sheets for Hull. Mill found it very difficult to break down the Tigers after they took the lead, something that former Reading chief was delighted about. He said, we are doing it the way we want to do it. The building things, trying to control the game, be aggressive and play through the lines, and keep the ball high and away from our goal. We could not ask for more today. It's important now we have some rest and we go again on Monday to prepare for the game and go again on Tuesday against QPR. So there you go. They literally parked the bus. So we're going to finish by looking at the table and prepare yourselves for this because you might be in for a shock. So the match results from the rest of the Championship this weekend: Burnley 0, Sunderland 0, Mill 0, Hull 1, Cardiff 3, Swansea 0, Plymouth 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1, Sheffield United 2, Norwich 0, West Brom 1, Stoke 1, Oxford 1, Gary Rout's Oxford 1, Blackburn 0, Coventry 1, Bristol City 0, Derby 0, Watford 2, Luton 0, Preston 0, Portsmouth 2, Middlesbrough 1, and yes, you have seen, if you've been keeping a keen eye, you will know that a few of the teams below us won today. So you know what that means. We've dropped down the table. We've dropped from 14th to 17th. And Gary Rout's Oxford is now above us. Because they're unbeaten in the last 6 games, at least. You can see Millwall here. We won against Blackburn, then we lost and drew and lost and drew and lost. We are now 4 points above the relegation places. We've got a game in hand, but our game in hand against Portsmouth, so it's not against them, and that's quite worrying really, because that game in hand is in just over a week's time. And we've got 2 games before then. We've got a game against Cardiff on Tuesday at home. They've just beaten Swansea. You can see here they are now in a 5-game unbeaten run. They went to Watford and won 2-1. They drew at home to Coventry. They drew away at Middlesbrough. They drew at home to Watford. And they beat Swansea 3-0. And we have to play them on Tuesday. If they win, they won't go above us because of their goal difference unless they score fucking 13 goals against us. Well, it doesn't have to be that high, is it? Because we're on 0. So, 7-0? 7-goal swing. If they win by 7, and that our goal difference will go down to -7, and theirs will go to -6. Yeah, this is, this next week is going to be a bit serious. Then we play Luton away, who seem to be a bit basket case at the moment. So maybe we can go there and get a draw. But then that's the thing. If we don't win any of these next 2 games, so if we don't even get 1 win from Cardiff at home or Luton away, let's say we get 0 points from the next 2 games, or maybe 1 point, maybe we get the draw. Portsmouth are only 4 points behind us at the moment. If they've got two games, 6 points is up for grabs in the next 2 games. Let's see who they've got, actually, while we're here. Let's see who they've got. If we do, what do? We do that. So who have Portsmouth got? We got Millwall Cardiff, 8 o'clock kickoff. For some reason, it's 8 o'clock kickoff. I think it's on one of the Sky channels. That might be the reason. Portsmouth at home to Stoke. Now, can they win that? They could. And then, while we're away at Luton, again, fucking 12:30 kickoff. Have we won the 12:30 kickoff so far this season? Have we? These 12:30 kickoffs, man, they're killing us. They're absolutely killing us. They're killing us with the crowds and they're killing us with the results. Absolutely killing us. Where are they? Portsmouth. Where are they? Where are they? Oh, they're at West Brom away, so they probably won't win that. Probably won't get anything from that, but you never know. This league's a bit nutty. But they could theoretically beat the other team that I said, which was... I've forgotten already. Who was it? Stoke. So they could beat Stoke. Not beyond the realms. They're 18th. Again, they have to play Stoke. If they win that game, they go to 29. If we don't move away from them by getting in the win, then when we play them in, 10 days' time, if they beat us, they will go above us and they will drag us down even further than we are before. And this is all a little bit deja vu, going back to last season where the same thing was happening. But here's the thing, we can't call up Neil Harris to say, hey Neil, can you come and help us? Because he was here at the start of the season and we all fucking bombed him out. Apparently he didn't like how he's been treated behind the scenes and he decided to quit. So who are we going to call now? Batman? Ghostbusters? Like, what the fuck are we going to do now? So Alex Neil needs to stop playing Joe Bryan, especially not a centre-back. He needs to figure something out. And hopefully he does it quickly. Because this could go very sour in the next 3 games. We could be in the relegation places in the next 3 games. By the end of January. So, you know, that's not going to be good for anyone. Is it? And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.